Namaskar, welcome to Express News. Let's begin. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the Sonmarg Tunnel project in Jammu and Kashmir on Monday. The Sonmarg Tunnel project is around 12 kilometers long. It's been constructed at a cost of over 2,700 crore rupees. After inaugurating the tunnel, Prime Minister Narendra Modi inspected the tunnel and he was accompanied by the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Omar Abdullah, also the Governor, Manoj Sinha, and the Union Road Transport Minister, Nitin Gadkari. The Prime Minister interacted with the project officials. He met the construction workers who had worked on the completion of the tunnel, acknowledging their contribution to this engineering feat. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also attended a public function in Sonmarg in Jammu and Kashmir. On his arrival there, on the stage, the Prime Minister was felicitated by the Chief Minister, Omar Abdullah. Addressing the event, the Prime Minister said that Jammu and Kashmir of the 21st century is scripting a new chapter of development. Prime Minister Modi attended the celebrations of the Harvest Festival Pongal in New Delhi on Monday at the residence of the Union Minister G. Kishan Reddy. Prime Minister expressed delight over the beginning of the Mahakumbh 2025. Taking to social media site X, the Prime Minister said that the Mahakumbh embodies India's timeless spiritual heritage and celebrates faith and harmony. The 45-day-long Mahakumbh Mela, it's hailed as the world's largest religious gathering. It began in Prayagraj on Monday with a holy dip on Posh Purnima, that's at the Sangam, which is the confluence of the rivers Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati. India's External Affairs Minister Jai Shankar addresses the 9th Annual Conference of Ambassadors in Spain's Madrid on Monday. Jai Shankar spoke about how nations draw from India's culture, traditions and heritage to put forward their distinct brand of diplomacy. India's Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar launched the book Parliament, Powers, Functions and Privileges, a comparative constitutional perspective at the Vice President's enclave in New Delhi on Monday. India's Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman addressed the 4th convocation ceremony of the Rashtriya Raksha University in Gandhinagar city, which is in the western state of Gujarat. She did so on Monday. India's Electronics and IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav on Monday slammed the Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg. This is for spreading misinformation. Zuckerberg, in a recent podcast, had said that the incumbent government in India lost during the elections held in 2024. India's Union Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav announced the operation of a new train from Kalka to Shimla and shared a video demonstrating the train and its features. Addressing the media ahead of the Indian Army Day, the Army Chief General Dwivedi on Monday said that while the violence in Jammu and Kashmir continues to be a concern, the situation remains under control. General Dwivedi, highlighting the situation in Depsang and Demchok regions of eastern Ladakh, said the issue related to patrolling in these sectors were resolved. The keel-laying ceremony of the 01 training ship of the Indian Coast Guard was held in Mumbai on Monday. The ship is being indigenously designed in line with the Government of India's vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat, that's a self-reliant India. The Indian Air Force Chief, Air Chief Marshal A.P. Singh, led the Sangram 1857 cyclothon along with cadets of the National Cadet Corps from Prayagraj on Monday. The 15-member team will continue its journey towards different paths from Uttar Pradesh to New Delhi. Ahead of India's Republic Day 2025, defence personnel participated in the full dress rehearsal of the 76th Republic Day Parade at Kartavya Path in Delhi. Security has been beefed up to ensure safety of the people. The Indian Space Research Organization's docking mission, SpaceX, is inching closer to success. The Target and the Chaser satellites came close to each other, 3 meters apart, and following which the satellites have now moved back to a safer distance. The National Health Authority signed an MOU with the Odisha government for the implementation of the Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana in the state. India's Health Minister Nadda said that Ayushman Bharat was the world's largest, the fastest health coverage scheme. The Indian benchmark indices extended their fall for the fourth straight session. At close, the Sensex was down 1,048.90 points, settling at 76,330.01. The Nifty was down 345.55 points, that's 1.47%, at 23,085.95. The Indian rupee on Monday settled 58 paise down at 86.62 against the US dollar. Gold futures maturing on February 5 were priced at 78,421 rupees per 10 grams on the multi-commodity exchange. Silver futures for March 5 maturity stood at 90,852 per kg on the MCX. Oil prices extended gains for a third session on Monday, with Brent rising above $81 a barrel to its highest in more than 4 months. India's retail inflation eased a bit to a 4-month low of 5.22% in December 2024. This is from 5.5% in November 2024. This is the National Statistics Office's data. In 2024, Indian fintech raised $1.9 billion, maintaining its rank among the top 3 globally funded fintech ecosystems, just behind the US and UK, according to a report. Leveraging Indian government's production-linked incentive scheme, Apple has achieved $11.9 billion in iPhone exports from India in 2024. The global smartphone market returned to growth in 2024, 4% up year-on-year sales, that is, after 2 consecutive years of annual declines. This is what a report said on Monday. India's Minority Affairs Minister Kiren Rijiju signed the Hajj Agreement of 2025 with Saudi Arabia's Minister for Hajj and Umrah, Dr. Tawfiq bin Fawzan Al Rabia. This happened in Jeddah on Monday. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi welcomed the move. The Indian minister also met the Saudi Minister for Transport and Logistics Services, Saleh bin Nasir Al Jasir. This happened also in Riyadh on Sunday. They discussed India-Saudi Arabia cooperation to better provide services for the movement of Hajj pilgrims. The potential deal to end the Gaza conflict is nearing completion, with Qatar mediating the talks between Israel and Hamas. A final draft of the agreement was presented on Monday, attended by the US President-elect Donald Trump's envoy. Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Saar confirms progress in the discussions and emphasized that Israel is working closely with both the outgoing Biden administration and the incoming Trump administration. European foreign ministers have agreed to meet at the end of January to discuss lifting sanctions on Syria. Speaking at a Syrian summit in Riyadh, the EU Foreign Policy Chief, Kaja Kallas, has said that any European decision to ease sanctions would be conditional on the new Syrian administration's approach to governing, which must be inclusive. The decision came at the regional meeting of the foreign ministers of the top diplomats from Western countries and West Asia in Saudi Arabia. The foreign ministers would now convene in Brussels on January 27. Iran held their air defense exercises over the weekend as the country braces for more friction with arch-enemy Israel and the United States under incoming US President Donald Trump. Iran will hold nuclear talks with France, Britain and Germany, known as the E3, on Monday. The meeting is a sign that the E3 countries are continuing to work towards a diplomatic solution to the Iranian nuclear program. The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has offered to exchange 2 captured North Korean soldiers for Ukrainians held in Russia. This marks the first time that Ukraine has announced capturing North Korean soldiers who were reportedly deployed in Russia's Kursk region to support Moscow's forces. Ukraine's air defense downed 78 of 110 Russian drones launched in an overnight strike on Monday. Meanwhile, Russia claims to have downed 9 Ukrainian drones that tried to attack part of the infrastructure of the Turk Stream gas pipeline. South Korea's acting president Choi Sang-mok on Monday called on the presidential security and police to refrain from using violence while executing an arrest warrant on the impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol. South Korea plans to improve the structures of housing, the antenna that guide landings. This is at the airports this year after, that Jeju airplane crash, the fatal one. The government has extended the shutdown of the Mon International Airport to January 19. The foreign ministers of South Korea and Japan held talks in South Korean capital Seoul on Monday. The leaders agreed to continue improving bilateral relations. Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba and the Philippine President Marcos and the outgoing US President Biden, they have met virtually on Monday. The three leaders discussed China's dangerous and unlawful behavior in the South China Sea. The Philippines on Monday called on Beijing to desist from escalatory actions at South China Sea shoal and said that a protest has been lodged over the presence of two Chinese Coast Guard vessels on January 5 and January 10 in the exclusive economic zone. The Croatian President Zoran Milanovic has claimed victory in the second round of the country's presidential election on Sunday for a second term. Milanovic became the third Croatian president in history to win a re-election. The Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum has presented her 100-day government report emphasizing key achievements in security and economic cooperation. Sheinbaum highlighted the benefits of trade agreement between Mexico, the US and Canada, noting its role in job creation and economic integration. In Sudan, citizens and soldiers celebrated the army's push to reclaim the Wad Madani city from the paramilitary rapid support forces nearly 2 years after the conflict. In Romania, thousands of people gather in central Bucharest. This is to protest against the cancellation of the presidential elections by a top court after the state documents showed frontrunner Călin Georgescu had benefited from unfair social media campaign. A delegation of officials from Hong Kong have arrived in Thailand. They are there in connection with a possible human trafficking case. 12 people were lured to Thailand on fake job promises and had been detained by the authorities. Okay, let's take a break at this point in time. You're watching Express News. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
रिटायरमेंट प्लानिंग के लिए तेरा एसआईपी के बारे में क्या ख्याल है?
रिटायरमेंट अभी तो पूरी लाइफ बाकी है यार।
और तुझे नहीं लगता अगर रिटायरमेंट के बारे में अभी से नहीं सोचे तो आगे जाके प्रॉब्लम होगी?
पर रिटायरमेंट के बारे में सोचना क्यों है इतना जरूरी? जब तक आप रिटायर हो जाएंगे महंगाई काफी ज्यादा बढ़ जाएगी और आपकी इनकम वो तो रुक ही जाएगी। इसीलिए आज ही म्यूचुअल फंड्स में एसआईपी शुरू कीजिए और हर महीने थोड़ा थोड़ा करके धन इकट्ठा कीजिए एक कंफर्टेबल रिटायर्ड लाइफ जीने के लिए। अधिक जानकारी के लिए अपने वित्तीय सलाहकार से परामर्श करें। LIC म्यूचुअल फंड द्वारा निवेशक शिक्षा की एक पहल। म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार जोखिम के अधीन है। योजना से संबंधित सभी दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
पढ़ता है, खेलता है, झूलता उछलता है, दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है, आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया, अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया।
Welcome back. Let's continue with the Express News. The death toll in the Los Angeles wildfire has risen to 24 on Monday as firefighters raced to contain the frontiers of two of Los Angeles' wildfires that burned for the 7th straight day. The LA fires have devastated a swathe of the city's neighborhoods. Actors, crew writers, producers have lost their homes. Film and television productions have temporarily closed. Los Angeles Unified School District Superintendent on Sunday said that all schools and offices, with the exception of those in the mandatory evacuation zones, will reopen. Fire conditions in Southern California entered a critical phase on Monday as the Santa Ana winds that fueled the fires in the first place last week are expected to return. Now, many still are missing and over 12,000 structures have been damaged. The French overseas territory of Mayotte has been hit by a further heavy rainfall. and this has led to flooding and mudslides 1 month after the cyclone Chido had devastated the same area and left dozens dead. At least 10 people have died due to landslides caused by torrential rains in southern Brazil, although the landslide swept away everything in its path along a street on the side of a hill in the city of Betania's neighborhood. 3 skiers were killed in an avalanche in the Leopoldine Alps along the border of Italy and Switzerland. Authorities have confirmed that the victims died from severe trauma sustained during the avalanche's powerful descent. A thick blanket of fog enveloped India's capital on Monday, causing a dip in visibility. The Indian Meteorological Department issued an orange alert, adding that the dense fog conditions are very likely to continue in the region. In India's Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the Srinagar's lake of Dal Lake, it's called, it developed a thin layer of ice on the surface on Monday with a steep decline. That's about 3.1% decline in degrees Celsius in the temperature. Flight operations were affected due to poor visibility amid dense fog conditions at Chennai International Airport in India's southern state of Tamil Nadu. As the Mahakumbh Mela began in India's holy city of Prayagraj, women devotees performed the sacred Ganga Aarti at the Triveni Sangam. The water laser show at the Mahakumbh highlights the rich history and significance of the Kumbh Mela. The 45-minute spectacle is a daily must-see attraction. The Festival of Harvest and Bonfires, Lohri, is being celebrated today across North India. The festival marks the end of winter and is a traditional welcome of longer days. Apart from Lohri, Bhogi, which is the first day of the 4-day Shankarantri festival, is also being celebrated widely in the Indian states of Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka and others. A group of 80 Shinto devotees braved the cold and immersed in an ice bath in Tokyo on Sunday in a ritual meant to purify the soul and pray for the new year. In central Tokyo's Extinct Media Museum, old cameras and telecom equipment are on display. The oldest item is a Japanese-produced Lily film camera manufactured way back in 1916. The Extinct Media Museum, its shelves give visitors a glimpse of the past with many of these gadgets when they were part of everyday life. A red dragon, a feline deity and a stranded dog. They have taken over the rice paddies of Thailand. This is a living artistic tribute to the flooding that took place in September. These mystical creatures are the creation of Tanyapong Jaikam, a full-time factory worker who is transforming rice paddies into artistic landscapes. Indigenous communities and officials in Bolivia celebrated the Day of the Cocoa Leaf tradition, highlighting its cultural significance and economic potential. Revelers in Brazil's Ouro Preto celebrate the traditional Afro-Brazilian festival with dozens of ceremonial groups performing dances and songs. The event honors Our Lady of the Rosary and Chico Rai, a Congolese king enslaved by the Portuguese, who later became a symbol of resistance in Brazilian folklore. A new £2 coin honoring literary author George Orwell was released by Britain's Royal Mint on Monday. It marks the 75th anniversary of the author's death, and the reverse, the design in fact pays tribute to one of the great novels of Orwell, 1984. Algeria celebrated Amazik, which is a new year of 2975, with mega conscious event. Nearly 3,000 dishes were served to thousands of people. The three-time world champion slackliner Jean Rousse conquered another groundbreaking feat, completing a highline walk between the Jumeirah Emirates Towers in Dubai. The 32-year-old Rousse of Estonia across the 100-meter long high line at a height of 224 meters, with the iconic Dubai skyline as a backdrop. Dozens of runners braved extremely cold temperatures in Russia's Yakutia region for a marathon run through spectacular forests with the air temperature hovering around minus 50 degrees centigrade. Omyakonski district, which is one of the world's coldest regions with a permanent human population. Now in winter, the all-time lowest temperature ever recorded was minus 67.7 degrees, but that was way back in 1933. The Parkes Elvis Festival has concluded with hundreds of attendees dressed as their idol, rocking and rolling at Australia's iconic Elvis Festival parade. Lionsgate heist film. It's called The Den of Thieves 2, Pantera. It opened atop the North American box office this weekend. It collected $15.5 million in ticket sales. Disney's animation Mufasa, The Lion King, slipped a spot, in fact, from last weekend and collected $13.2 million. Its accumulated ticket sales have surpassed $500 million. The anticipated upcoming Indian film Bhoot Bangla has intensified after the actress Tabu joined the cast. So what's happened is that Tabu announced her involvement with a picture on social media. The veteran TV director Harvey Leidman, who helmed several episodes of series such as The Waltons, Scarecrow and Mrs. King, he died at the age of 82. The Italian photographer Olivero Toscani, the man behind the campaigns that made Italy's Benetton a huge success, died on Monday at the age of 82. In Australia, in the Open, the AO as it's called, the Australian Open, the men's singles winner last year, the defending champion Yannick Sinner, is through to the second round. He won 7-6, 7-6, 6-1 against Nicholas Hari. The former finalist Stefanos Tsitsipas was not that lucky, however. He exited in the first round. The 11th seed Tsitsipas attributed his defeat to a lack of practice. The American 17th seed Francis Tiafoe held off Arthur Rindenke in a thrilling five-setter, edging the Frenchman out 7-6, 6-3, 4-6, 6-7, 6-3. In the women's singles, the American third seed Coco Gauff knocked out the compatriot of hers, the Australian Open champion, a former one that is, Sofia Kenin, 6-3, 6-3. Chasing a sixth Grand Slam crown, the Polish world number 2, Iga Świątek, eliminated Katerina Sinikova 6-3, 6-4 and advanced to the next round. And finally, we're talking about the defending champion, the world number 1, Sabalenka. She defeated the 2017 US Open champion, Sloane Stephens, 6-3, 6-2. She's in the second round too. India's Sumit Nagal, he's out. He lost to the number 25 seed, Thomas McHack, 6-3, 6-1, 6-7, 5 in the first round. The inaugural edition of the Coco World Cup 2025 kicks off in New Delhi. A total of 39 teams from 23 countries are participating in the 7-day event. Devjit Saikia formally took charge as the Secretary of the Board of Control of Cricket in India. Jemima Rodrigues hit a maiden ODI 100, guiding India to a 116-run victory over Ireland in the second ODI at Rajkot on Sunday. Themba Bavuma is going to lead South Africa in the men's Champions Trophy 2025. The Proteas are hoping to win. Pat Cummins is going to lead Australia in the same trophy, the Champions Trophy matches. He's going to be going to Pakistan. The campaign starts there for them. Injured paceman Josh Hazlewood is also in the squad. Punjab Kings have named Shreyas Iyer as their captain for the 2025 IPL season. Hyderabad Tufans defeated Vedanta Kalinga Lancers 5-1 in Rourkela. They registered their second consecutive win in the Hockey India League. And finally, Barcelona hammered rivals Real Madrid 5-2 and the final of the Spanish Super Cup in Saudi Arabia on Sunday. That's all we have in Express News. Thank you for watching. Namaskar.